Hi, I'm Rosie Worthen.
And I'm Keisha Young. Welcome to the Monday Night Roar.
Thanks for tuning in. We have your latest news, entertainment, and sports.
All that and more coming up on the Monday Night Roar.
As the 2015 Clemson basketball season has come to an end, the renovation of Littlejohn Coliseum has started to begin. Some of the notable changes to Littlejohn will include new center-hung video board, ribbon boards, wider seats and aisles, handrails, cell phone service, and Wi-Fi. This $63.5 million project will also rotate courts 90 degrees so it's east to west and allows for more courtside seating. Although this project will decrease overall capacity from 9,800 to 9,000, the student section will increase in area while holding the same amount of space for students. Athletic administration hopes the renovations will catapult Clemson men's basketball into a new era of excellence.
Clemson graduate students are showing off the university's digital performing arts program with their new animated short, Peanut Butter Jelly. The cartoon tells the story of two jellyfish that bite over a jar of peanut butter that has fallen off a boat and drifted to the coral reef below. Clemson School of Computing has an increasing influence in the movie industry. As a matter of fact, the department won an Academy Award in February of this year. Clemson began offering digital arts production back in 1999 and has since worked on more than 150 feature films. Many of its alumni have gone on to work on blockbusters like Frozen. Peanut Butter Jelly, which lasts about 1 minute, took 26 students, 14 of which were graduate students, to make. Alex Beatty, the student director, says, "I'm really proud of it. I really appreciate all the work that people have put into it." To watch the animated short, visit www.newsstand.clemson.edu.
The little yellow Snapchat ghost that has swept the nation since its creation in 2011 is now taking Clemson's campus by storm. With the addition of a story feature where people can post a photo or video to their profile that can be viewed by all their followers for 24 hours, students have taken to create Clemson-wide Snapchat accounts. These accounts, @SnapCUTigers and @ClemsonSnaps, are run entirely by student moderators. It is important for students to remember that posting to these accounts is not entirely anonymous and the pictures do not completely disappear. If necessary, they can be seized by law enforcement. So let's make sure we are snapping smartly, Clemson.
The Clemson International Center for Automotive Research, or CUI-CAR, has received a $1.625 million grant from the Cortex System Company. This grant includes 25 seats of the newest Moldex 3D Advanced package and solution added-on modules that will offer hands-on training for students, faculty, and professionals. Of all the schools in the Southeast, Clemson is the only one that integrates this kind of software into its academic curriculum. This software will help professors shrink Camp Pila's research. The Dean of the College of Engineering and Science says it needs cutting-edge technology like this for its students to succeed. I am thrilled to have Moldex 3D as the newest corporate partner for CUI-CAR, and I thank them for their support, says President Clements.
Last week, Alpha Phi Omega, a co-ed service fraternity founded on the principles of Boy Scouts of America, hosted their second annual Girl Scout University. GSU is a student-run event that brings Girl Scouts to Clemson's campus to earn 2 different badges in one day. There are 16 different classes offered throughout the day for girls ages 7 to 14. Topics cover a range of first aid, budgeting, painting, and geocaching. This year, over 140 Girl Scouts from across South Carolina came to Clemson to attend GSU. David Buchanan, Scouting Committee Chair of Alpha Phi Omega, notes, "GSU shows girls the good things going to college will do and the benefits that come with a higher education."
The Brooks Center has a month jam-packed with performances for Clemson students. Tomorrow night, Furman University's music professors will join Clemson's very own symphony orchestra to perform The Muse and the Poet. The following Thursday, Clemson's Jazz Ensemble will take the stage to perform some classic as well as some original songs. Later in the month, the Clemson Players will perform Twelfth Night, a Shakespeare comedy masterpiece. These are but a few of the things the Brooks Center has booked for April. As always, students are eligible for discounted tickets and even free admission at certain events if they show their student IDs. For more information about the ticket prices and showtimes, go to www.clemson.edu/Brooks. or call the box office at 864-656-7787 between the hours of 1 and 5 p.m.
This Saturday, the Clemson family is gearing up to welcome back one of their own, Lee Brice, as he puts on the last concert in Little John Coliseum. Don't miss this amazing opportunity to see the old long snapper for Clemson football play his Grammy Award-winning music. It is expected he will play Orange Empire, a song he wrote about his time here at Clemson. The concert begins at 7:30 p.m. and tickets can be bought online at Ticketmaster or at the Hendricks Help Desk.
Clemson celebrated undergraduate research at the 10th annual Focus on Creative Inquiry Forum today in Hendricks. Creative Inquiries give students the chance to work on research projects that can span over one or many semesters. Students of all disciplines come together with faculty members to solve problems and help people in various parts of the world. More than 4,100 students participate in SIAC classes and have earned Clemson 26 national awards. One team that presented at the forum today revealed their findings on designing a zero-net energy solar home that can be used in the aftermath of a natural disaster. Another group presented their conservation drones and the development of low-cost aerial vehicles that could potentially revolutionize aerial mapping.
Saturday, April 11th marks the spring game for our beloved Clemson Tigers. It will have been exactly 113 days since the Tigers defeated the Gamecocks in the last regular season home game of the fall 2014 season. Gates open at 11:30 p.m. and the 2015 Orange and White spring game kicks off at 2:30 p.m. Admission and parking is free for all, so make sure you join the Clemson family in Death Valley to take a sneak peek at the incredible talent that will advance us in the upcoming fall 2015 season.
The National Science Foundation is helping Clemson advance the talent pipeline in aerospace, automotive, and advanced manufacturing. The grant Clemson's been awarded is for $3 million. Students involved in this are from the Department of Industrial and Mechanical Engineering, as well as the School of Computing. The lessons students will learn include virtual reality simulations. The classes are flexible and allow students to study at a time most convenient for them. With the new funding, students in grades K through 12 will be able to explore these virtual reality simulations too. President Clements is very pleased with the university's accomplishment, saying, "This is a great example of teamwork and reflects the incredible quality of our faculty, staff, and students." Now let's check in with Gabby Bates for this week's sports.
The Clemson men's baseball team played in a weekend-long tournament against the North Carolina Tar Heels this past weekend. The Tigers had a great start on Friday, defeating the Tar Heels 5-2. Matthew Crownover had an excellent game on Friday, getting 8 strikeouts in the 7th inning that he pitched. The Tigers were able to get 2 back-to-back runs in the first inning that helped give them their win on Friday. The Tigers went on to play again on Saturday and were able to get another victory. Reed Rollman was the star performer after scoring on an error in the 11th inning to help give the Tigers a win. Zach Irwin pitched 9 innings for the Tigers with 11 strikeouts and no walks. The Tigers went on to play the Tar Heels yesterday to try and get a series sweep, but were unable to do so. The Tigers had a strong start leading UNC 4-0. Chris Oakey was able to get a 3-run homer in the first inning along with Eli White in his 2-run double in the bottom of the 7th that didn't stop the Tar Heels from defeating the Tigers 8-7. The Clemson men's golf team was able to finish 10th at the 3M Augusta Invitational. Miller Caps had a 2-under par rounds of 70 to help put the Tigers at 10th in the tournament. Stephen Bear also had a good performance, shooting a .216 for all 3 rounds. Cody Prevost was able to tie with Miller Caps with the most birdies of the tournament. Well, spring is here, and that means spring game time. The Tigers' orange and white spring game is this Saturday in Death Valley. Kickoff begins at 2:30 p.m. I know many of you are anxious to get a little taste of the 2015 Clemson football season. Now for your other sports. The Final Four of the NCAA tournament took place this past Saturday with Duke defeating Michigan State 61-81 and the undefeated Kentucky Wildcats getting their first loss of the year to the Wisconsin Badgers 64-71. Duke will take on Wisconsin tonight for the NCAA championship. Tip-off begins tonight at 9:18 p.m. Well, it's one of the biggest weeks in golf. The Masters starts up this Thursday with the ceremonial first tee shot. If some of you need to catch up on your golf, here's some things to know before watching. Tiger Woods has made his big comeback to golf after he decided to take some time off to improve. He will be playing in the Masters. I mean, how can you miss out on the Masters? Second, Roy McIlroy, the #1 player in the world, will take a shot at receiving his first green jacket. This is a big deal for Rory. Third, you probably saw the young Jordan Spieth playing exceptionally well in the Masters last year, battling with 2014 Masters champ Bubba Watson. Will this be the year that young Spieth gets the green jacket? And lastly, we can't leave Bubba out, with a previous Masters champion put the green jacket on again. Well, that's all I have for your sports. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Gabby. Though some northern residents are tired of all the snow they have received this year, residents of California could not be more envious. The water officials of California just measured the lowest April 1st snowpack in more than 60 years of record keeping in the Sierra Nevada. Following that, Governor Jerry Brown ordered cities and towns across California to cut water usage by 25% as a part of mandatory drought restrictions. Brown emphasizes the need of changing this from a voluntary to mandatory restriction on the basis that it's a different world and we need to act differently.
Inspired by the cult classic Mean Girls, a new app called Burn Book has launched across the nation. The free app allows users who are supposed to be at least 18 to search for schools within 10 miles of them and anonymously share texts and photos. Although the app prohibits bullying in its terms and conditions, many school administrators are still concerned. The name itself makes many suspicious. For those who have not seen Mean Girls, the Burn Book is a book in which the popular girls of the school write mean and lewd things about other students. While Burn Book has yet to dominate college campuses, many cyberbullying researchers fear that it will quickly gain popularity and be in the ranks of apps like Yik Yak, and will further exacerbate cyberbullying on college campuses.
Over the past week, Indiana Governor Mike Pence has received an abundance of criticism regarding the latest Indiana religious freedom law. This law is supposed to enforce the idea that the government cannot control people and businesses from following their religious beliefs. Critics believe this law opens a huge door to discrimination against people in the LGBT community. After a week of dealing with harsh allegations, Pence is working hard to sign another law that defines said religious freedom law, including how supportive of the LGBT community the Indiana government is. This has created backlash, such as states like Connecticut have banned travel to Indiana, making it hard for University of Connecticut coaches to make it to the Final Four games. Meanwhile, in the midst of this political uproar, Arkansas plans on signing their own religious freedom law.
Defying the Boy Scouts of America's national policy, the Boy Scouts of New York hired its first openly gay camp leader, 18-year-old Pascal Tessier, on Thursday. The organization has long since had an anti-gay policy. The first sign of gay acceptance happened in 2013 when the organization voted to lift its ban on openly gay scouts. This policy was officially implemented in 2014. It's still unclear what course of action the national organization will take. However, many people across the country are applauding the Boy Scouts of New York for its progressive action. Next, let's check in with John Oliver and Freddie with all the latest in entertainment and movies.
I have some bad news for all you Mad Men fans out there. The show is coming to an end after this season. The last season of the show will feature 7 episodes before we say goodbye. But don't worry, there'll be plenty of other stuff for us to binge watch on Netflix. Rihanna premiered her new song, American Oxygen, on the March Madness halftime show last Saturday. I watched the show and must say it was fantastic. If you're interested in hearing the song, you can listen to it on Tidal. You know, that new music streaming service that Jay-Z charged like $200,000 a month to listen to music? I guess Taylor was wrong. Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Martin are getting back together. The two are spotted together in New Jersey. A source confirms the two are back together and things are more serious than before. Happy 7th wedding anniversary, Beyonce! In order to celebrate the remembrance of this big day, she released a song titled Die With You. I thought it was a great song and encourage everyone to listen to it. He's back! NBC is bringing back the critically acclaimed The Bible. However, this time the series will focus on the events after Jesus' death. The show AD returned this past Sunday. It has been alleged that the Fast and Furious franchises will bring in about $1 billion in revenue. The news movie is out in theaters, and Freddie has more news on the movies you better watch now.
Hey, and welcome back to Showtimes. We provide you with all the important movie news from the couch to the theater. We cover movies coming to Redbox theaters, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. This week, Redbox has Night at the Museum, featuring Robin Williams in his last visual role before his passing. Also out, if you hate yourself, you can pick up Paul Blart Mall Cop. Amazon came up short-handed this week, and Netflix is releasing a bunch of low-level movies if you want to see something you've never heard of. In theaters this week is slim pickings, but if you like cowboys, you can check out The Longest Ride. Out already is DreamWorks presents Home, the story of an out-of-place alien voiced by Jim Parsons learning about Earth. Also out, if you prefer comedy, is Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. Thank you for tuning in, and watch next week for more updates. Back to you guys.
Thanks, John Oliver and Freddie. Al-Qaeda fighters attacked a prison in the city of Yemeni early Thursday morning. They managed to free at least 270 prisoners. Dozens of the attackers took control of government buildings, including the city's central prison, bank, and radio station. Yemeni has been declining into chaos for several weeks now, and many believe this could be a proxy war. The rivals are Saudi Arabia and Iran. Yemeni's President Abdu Rabbu Mansour Hadi has not yet made a statement.
The mystery surrounding the Germanwings crash continues to elevate. On March 24, 2015, a Germanwings plane crashed into the French Alps, killing 149 passengers and 2 pilots. Fingers have been pointed at pilot Lupitz, who had a history of depression and allegedly locked out the co-pilot out of the cockpit in order to intentionally crash the plane. The search for answers regarding the crash continues. Most recently, they found data from a second recorder that shows the Germanwings co-pilot accelerated multiple times during the plane's descent. There is also recorded evidence from the cockpit where you can hear Pilot Lupitz breathing and clearly conscious during the descent. At this point, we'll just have to wait and see how this mystery revolving this crash unfolds.
Heavily armed gunmen attacked Garissa University in Kenya on Thursday, killing 2 security guards and at least 147 students. The shooters singled out Christians and shot them, witnesses said. Over 500 students managed to escape, 79 of which were injured. Eric Wakesa, a student at Garissa, told reporters he locked himself in his room before eventually escaping. He claims to have heard the gunman say, "We came to kill or finally be killed." Police have not yet deciphered this cryptic message. 4 of the gunmen were eventually surrounded in a dorm and died when their suicide vest detonated. The 5th gunman has reportedly been arrested. A nightly curfew has been implemented at Garissa University and 3 other countries in Kenya. Lastly, here's Erica with this week's weather.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at your Clemson weather for the rest of this week. It's going to be fairly warm and wet week with highs in the 60s, 70s, and getting up to the 80s on both Wednesday and Thursday. Rain, rain, rain is the story this week with a 40% chance of rain on Tuesday, as well as a high chance of thunderstorms. On Wednesday, we see a 50% chance of rain and thunderstorms. Again, on Thursday, we see similar weather continue with a 40% chance of rain and thunderstorms. On Friday, we should expect the worst rain of the week with an 80% chance of rain and thunderstorms. So definitely don't forget your rain jackets and umbrellas when walking to class this week. Heading into the weekend, we stay in the 80s but move to some drier days. Saturday, we should see some AM clouds and PM sun. And Sunday, definitely the most beautiful day of the week with a high of 80 and no clouds. So make sure you get out and catch some rays. Taking a look outside our window right now, we see a little wet. It's about 57 degrees with lots of clouds in the sky and a 5-mile-per-hour wind. Moving on to later tonight, we expect showers after 11 p.m. Taking a look at our radar, we can see that this storm is moving in from the southwest and hitting Louisiana and Mississippi tonight. That's all I have for you this week. Stay dry. Back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, Erica. That's all for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Be sure to like our Tigervision Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next Monday on the Monday Night Roar.